Good morning, everyone. I'm Mohit Latta, and today we are going to cover the topic email spoofing. So, we are going to cover the introduction, types of email spoofing attacks, how email spoofing works, reasons for email spoofing, how emails are spoofed, email spoofing protection, prevention measures, conclusion. So, let's start. So, what is email? So, the full form of email is electronic mail. So, electronic mail is a method of exchanging messages between people using electronic devices. Spoofing. In the context of information security and especially in network security. A spoofing attack is a situation in which a person or program successfully identifies as another by falsifying data to gain illegitimate advantage. Now let's combine and let's see what is email spoofing. Email spoofing is the creation of email messages with a fake sender address. The core email protocol do not have any mechanism for authentication, making it common for spam and phishing emails to use email spoofing to mislead or even prank the recipient about the origin of the message. What is email security? Email security refers to the security measures that an organization takes in order to secure various aspects of its email system, such as identity, content, media attachments, and email access. Email, in a way, can also be described as a central repository or a central point of attack for hackers. Email security can be a target of a phishing attack, identity theft, spam emails, and virus attacks. Email is frequently an intruder's gateway into an organization. Data breaches are a large concern for business today, as the number of attacks keep growing year over year. The purpose of an attack on email is to use it as a pathway to a large data breach or as a targeted data breach on the email account. Now let's see what are the types of email spoofing attacks. There are different types of attack vectors used by hackers to target the email systems. It is important to note that while different attack vectors may employ different methods, they they ultimately have a specific purpose when executing the attack. The most common technique used to attack emails include identity theft, phishing emails, spam emails, and virus. Let's let us take a closer look into the common techniques that threaten email security. The first is identity theft. Identity theft is a crime of obtaining the personal or financial information of another person to use their identity to commit fraud, such as making unauthorized transactions or purchase. Second, phishing attacks. Phishing is the fraudulent attempt to obtain sensitive information or data, such as username, password, credit card number, or other sensitive details for impersonating oneself as a trustworthy entity. Phishing is done through social engineering, whereas email spoofing, that is for email spoofing, someone has to download malicious software on the user system. Now let's say third one, virus. Email viruses, which constitute of majority of computer viruses, consist of malicious codes that is distributed in email messages, and it can be activated when a user clicks on a link in an email message, downloads an email attachment, or interacts in some other way with the body of the infected email. The last one, spam. Spam is the most commonly known form of email attack. Perhaps the reason is because we all have a spam folder within our email accounts where we receive unwanted emails or emails we didn't subscribe to. This is likely why even from people from non-IT backgrounds know what a spam email is. although they usually thought of as an harmless email which they can delete directly without even bothering to open it. Now let's see how we can check whether an email account has been compromised or not. So we can check this by going to a website named haveibeenpawned.com. So here is the website where you can check whether email account has been compromised or not. So Have I Been Pawned is a allows you to search across multiple data breaches to see if your email address or phone number has been compromised or not. So here I'm entering my email ID for now. So I'm entering mohotladha19 at the rate gmail.com, and now I will click on pawn. Here you see. So here you can see that pawn in two breaches. This is my email has been ID has been a part of an data breach. So here you can see what are the data breaches where my email ID has been breached. So the first is Canva. So in 2019 there is a data breach on Canva where the breach impacted 137 million subscribers. And here you can see the details which were exposed. So the exposed data include email address, username, name, city of residence, passwords, and there's one more scam that I've had is which is Dumbsmash. So it is a video messaging services, and here you can see that the compromised data which is email address, geographical location, my location, name, password, phone number, the language which is spoken language, and username. So all these data have been breached. That is leaked, I can say. Now let's come to topic again. So this is an example of how the spoofing mails looks like. So the image which you can see on the screen, it is a malicious email. As you can see that the email claims to be from OneDrive, but the sender is from a Russian domain, which is well known for malicious emails. Also, you can see that the email tries to get the user to open a file without even providing the information about the file's content or the sender. The email is formatted as unprofessional and contains poor grammatical and spelling. See this. This is to enable you receiver. So this is not a proper grammatical, which of course the OneDrive used to send your email. And you would not expect an email from an official Microsoft service to be formatted and presented like this. Now let's see how email spoofing works. The goal of spoofing is to trick users into believing the email is from someone they know or can trust. In most cases, a colleague, vendor, or brand. For example, an attacker may create an email that looks like it comes from their bank. The message tells the user that their account will be suspended if they don't click a link. Authenticate if they don't click a link, authenticate into the site, and change account's password. So if the user is successfully tracked and types in credential, the attacker now has the credential to authenticate into the targeted user's bank account, potentially stealing money from the user. Email spoofing is possible because the SMTP, that is the Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, does not have a does not provide a mechanism for address authentication. Now let's see what are the reasons for email spoofing. So the most well-known for phishing purposes, there are several other reasons for spoofing senders' address. These reasons can include hiding the sender's true identity. This goal can be achieved easily by registering anonymous mail addresses, avoiding spam blocklisting. So if a sender is spamming, they are bound to be blocked listed soon. A simple solution to this problem is to switch email addresses. Next is pretending to be someone the receiver knows. For example, ask for sensitive information or access to personal assets. Pretending to be from a company the receiver has a relationship with, as a means of getting back bank login details or other private data. Sending messages in someone's name can also be used to commit identity theft. For instance, by requesting information from the victim's financial or healthcare services or records. Now, how emails are spoofed. So, email spoofing is possible due to the way email systems are designed. The easiest way to spoof mail is that the attacker finds a mail server with an open SMTP port, that is Simple Mail Transfer Protocol port. As I already said that SMTP lacks any authentication, so poorly configured servers have no protection against prospective cybercriminals. Depending upon the email format, it might be challenging for a normal user to notice the difference. Now let's see email spoofing protections. Since the email protocol SMTP lacks authentication, several frameworks have been developed to allow authentication of incoming messages, and they are SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. So first see what is SPF. So SPF is Sender Policy Framework. SPF is a security protocol set as a standard in 2014. What SPF do is it checks whether a particular IP address is authorized to send mail from a given domain. The problem with SPF is it may lead to false positives. Next is DKIM, Domain Key Identified Mail. It is a technical standard that helps protect email senders and recipients from spam, spoofing, and phishing. It allows sender to associate a domain name with an email message for its authenticity. A sender creates the DKIM by signing the email with a digital signature. This signature is located in the message header. So the last is DMARC, that is Domain Key Identified Mail. Sorry, my bad. So the last one, DMARC, which is Domain Based Message Authentication, Reporting and Conformance. It is an email authentication protocol. It is designed to give email domain owners the ability to protect their domain from unauthorized use. The purpose and primary outcome of implementing DMARC is to protect a domain from being used in business email compromise attacks, phishing emails, email scams, and other cyber threat activities. So we can see and check whether the email you receive has passed these frameworks or not. That is SPF, DKIM, and DMARC, which are developed to allow authentication of incoming messages. So the steps to view email header are different for each email client. So first, look up how to view email header for your inbox software. Then open the mail header and look for the received SPF section of the headers and look for the pass or fail response. So like over here, let me open my mail, sorry. No, not this one. So I'm opening this mail, tech latest. So you can see the three dots over here, right? Just click on this three dot and click on show original. And it will show you the details about the email where we can check if the email has passes the framework or not. You can see SPF, DKIM, DMS, and the pass, all this, and you can learn more about this by click on this link. Now let's see the preventive measures, how to protect from email spoofing. Even with email security, some malicious messages reach users' inboxes. There are several steps we can take to avoid becoming a victim of email frauds. Let's see them here. So the main is use two-factor authentication. Two-factor identification requires you to enter a code sent to you in a text messages or another service to access your account after you enter your username and password. This makes it more difficult for a hacker to access your information, even if they are able to crack your password. Make sure to keep anti-malware softwares up to date. Also, when unsure of the validity of an email, contact the sender directly, especially if sharing private or financial information. This can help to avoid an attack. Make sure to never click on links to access a website where you are asked to authenticate. Try to avoid opening attachments from suspicious or unknown senders. Do not click on attractive or tempting links over WhatsApp messages or routing SMS, as they may lead to malicious pages and can cause malware instruction on your system or device. Hackers use these social engineering to trick you in clicking the link, so don't fall for it. Keep your email password long and difficult. Do not share a password. Do not store your password in your devices. Don't disclose your password to anyone and keep changing it at regular intervals. Always have a lock screen on your smartphone, tablets, laptop, etc. Make sure they are protected by the PIN or password. Do not keep your devices open and unattended, even for a minute. Yes, not even for a minute, especially in public places and your workplace. So we have reached the end of this topic. Let's wrap up everything what we have seen. Email spoofing is referred to an activity of sending email using someone else's identity. The attackers may use to launch phishing attacks so as to get information from user. Spoofed emails are also used to carry infections like Trojans to do harm to victim system. Administrators need to take variety of measures to prevent, detect, and provide remedial measures to email spoofing attacks. The implementation of security has its own set of drawbacks and hindrances like in PGP. PGP is pretty good privacy and it is an encryption system used for both sending encrypted emails and sending encrypted sensitive files. The problem with PGP is complexity and it becomes difficult to train people to implement and use. Another issue is that of key management, where keys may be lost or get corrupted. In the case of digital signature methodology, it needs to be implemented at both the end, that is the client and the server gateway. Also, it does not prevent valid signature to have misleading address which take the user to fake site. So just make sure to not click on any links, keep your email password long and difficult, use two-factor authentication. Thank you.